little solo day to go see My Neighbour Totoro on stage. Welcome to day 17 of Vlogoween, where I am posting regular vlogs in the lead up to Halloween. Think Vlogmas, but a Halloween edition. So today I'm taking myself on a little solo date to go see My Neighbour Totoro. It has recently become a stage production in London. I literally bought these tickets last year and I have been wanting to see the show as soon as I heard that it was going to be on stage. My Neighbour Totoro is one of my all-time favourite Studio Ghibli movies. I think it's maybe the first Studio Ghibli movie I ever watched, and I have such a deep personal connection to it. Like when I was at uni, when I was always feeling like really uninspired, I would always watch My Neighbour Totoro, and this was like what inspired me to write all the scripts that I was writing. It inspired me to write my essays, it helped me do my work. It was like a real comfort movie for me, so I am super excited to go see it on stage today. Also, hello, if you don't know me, my name is Rajan, aka Not Half Bad Crochet, and if you would like to see the rest of my Vlogoween posts, be sure to subscribe to my channel, give this video a little like, and leave me a comment to let me know what you think. So firstly, we're going to go back in time and we're going to get ready. Ignore my hair, I literally just woke up like 10 minutes ago. So I don't really know what I want to wear today. It's going to be like 23 degrees, but it's going to be very windy, and I have a feeling that the theatre is going to be like kind of warm as well. So what I'm thinking is light trousers, light top, and then like a jacket that I can take off if needed. So I have these really beautiful jackets from Indigo Moon that I got from a vintage store in Prague. Indigo Moon is like, I don't even know how to describe their brand, but their stuff is just beautiful. Like has this really amazing embroidery on it. Let me actually just open the curtain so you can see the colours properly. Yeah, just like stunning details, really beautiful colouring. All of this is like embroidered. It feels very like Indian inspired. I think that's why I'm kind of drawn to their pieces. This is the back of one of the jackets, really beautiful. And then I have this one as well, which is like kind of almost like patchworky, with some more beautiful embroidery on it. It looks so nice. There's details everywhere, like on the sleeves, the back, the front. I love the colouring of this one, it's so nice. But I have worn this one before. I really don't get to kind of wear them as much as I would like, so I'm thinking of wearing this one because it's a little bit bigger, so it might feel a little bit more comfortable. And then I've got these like black, I think they're linen. Yeah, I've got these black like linen trousers, I want to say. Are you linen? Cotton and hemp. These black cotton and hemp trousers from Lucy and Yak, and they're kind of like a little bit cropped, so I'm hoping like I won't get hot in them, which I don't think I will. But I just flashed you all. No. So yeah, I'm thinking these trousers, and then just like a plain black top. I don't really have, because obviously we're kind of still at the end of summer, I haven't gotten any of my like winter stuff out, so I was thinking like a black long sleeve, but it's all in my like winter clothes which I put away, and it's like, it's not like a mish to get to, but they're all in like this vacuum bags, and I can't really be bothered to go and get them out. Basically like this, one of those kind of like, you know, nice fitted tiny black cardigans, or I've just got like a little black strappy top, cropped top, and they're both cropped. So yeah, I'm deciding which one to wear. I feel like with this one I'll probably get a bit too hot, because obviously ideally if I get hot I'll just take the jacket off and then I can just wear this. That's what I'm thinking. So I'm going to finish off my breakfast smoothie, and then I will like brush my teeth and, you know, clean myself, and then I'm gonna get dressed. But I'm thinking out of the two jackets, I think I really want to wear the blue one, because I've not been able to wear the blue one yet. I have worn this one, and I really want to try and wear these a little bit more because they're just so beautiful. I feel like this is kind of like the perfect weather to wear them, because it's like windy and it's still a little bit warm, because these are like, obviously they're jackets, but they're not like warm jackets, you know. I'm sure they will provide me with an extra layer of warmth, but they're not gonna like keep me warm in the cold, if that makes sense. I feel like, yeah, today's kind of like good weather for it, and I do love this one. But yeah, I've worn it before, and I'm thinking this one today. It's so nice. I was debating on whether I wanted to do makeup and stuff today, but I don't think I can be bothered, if I'm being so real. So yeah, I think no makeup day, we'll just look cute. I need to get my bag ready. I've got like an hour or so before I need to leave, so I've got plenty of time. So yeah, I'm gonna finish my breakfast smoothie and then I'll get dressed. I'll see you when I've got some clothes on. And now I am dressed and I am ready to go. I don't have anything left that I need to do. I have packed my bag. I'm gonna be taking this little like fluffy cow print bag. I obviously have my Totoro little charm, which is like a bootleg one, by the way, don't look too closely at it. And then I have this cute little Capricorn like hotel tag, which is super cute. And then yeah, I've just got my usual stuff. Oh, I need to pack my inhaler actually, that's one thing I cannot forget. So I've got my inhaler, I've got my Kindle for the train journey, I've got my wallet, some tissues, my like, you know, little emergency pouch thing where I put like all of my emergency stuff like plasters and painkillers and whatnot in there. I just need to grab my phone, obviously put you guys in my bag, and then that's it, I'm ready to go. So I'm wearing this really beautiful jacket by Indigo Moon. It's a really pretty like embroidered jacket. I've had this for so long. I got this from Prague in a vintage store in like December last year, 2024, and I love Indigo Moon. I've seen them like around, like people posting about them on TikTok and stuff, and I know that they do plus sizes, but I've just never seen them in real life, and like they've always been a little bit out of my budget when I have seen them on like Vinted and stuff. But yeah, found 2 jackets in a store in Prague, and because I literally, like, whenever I go into vintage stores, I personally don't bother like looking around. My partner tends to have a little wander. I will sit down, I'll be his like fashion guide, and I saw these jackets on a railing like out of the corner of my eye, and I was like, I think that's the brand that I've been like eyeing up. Looked at them, they were in my size, both of them. This one is actually a size bigger, so it's a little bit kind of like oversized, which is why I've rolled the sleeves up a little bit, because they're just like a tiny bit too long. But yeah, both of them were in my size. They're both absolutely beautiful. Really love this one. I haven't worn this one yet. They both have shoulder pads as well, which I kind of love. Like, I actually think I look really good in shoulder pads. And I've just done up this top button. All of the buttons are like super detailed as well. Like, the detailing on this jacket is actually just beautiful. I'm just wearing like a little crop top, like strappy top, and then these Luciniac cotton trousers that I have. And for shoes, I'm just wearing my like Doc Martin mules with no socks, which I've actually never done before, so I'm not sure if they will like rub my feet or anything, so I bought some plasters and stuff with me just in case, but I'm sure it'll be fine. So yeah, I've had my breakfast. I am going to be going in for around like lunchtime because the show starts at 2. It's in Covent Garden at the Gillian Flynn Theatre, which I don't think I've ever been to before. It's not like ringing any bells, so I don't think I've ever been before. I've got like pretty good seats. I'm in the stalls. I'm kind of like stage right, I believe, or like if I'm facing the stage, I'm kind of on the left. I'm gonna grab some lunch in Covent Garden. Not 100% sure where I'm gonna go yet, but I'm sure I will find something in Covent Garden that I want to get. I would love to get some like sweet treats for the actual show, so I have something to nibble on. And yeah, that's basically everything. I don't think I'm forgetting anything. Yeah, that's it. And obviously if I get hot, I can just take this jacket off because the weather's a bit annoying today. I'm also kind of debating walking from my main station to Covent Garden because it's like a 20-minute walk, or it's like a 20-minute tube, so I'm kind of like, if it's like relatively okay out, then I'll probably just walk. I also need to check if it's raining to bring an umbrella, but I don't think it's due to rain today. So yeah, I'm gonna stop rambling. We're gonna go, we're gonna get the train, get some lunch, go to the theatre, and you can hang out with me today. is actually the next day. If you can see a bunch of laundry in the background, please ignore it. I am currently like putting my clothes away. If you can also hear a motorbike idling outside, again, please ignore it. I have tried to film this several times already and there is this constant noise and issues, so this is as good as it's gonna get. But yeah, let me fill you in on my day. The show was amazing. So yeah, I got my train into London, which was absolutely fine. No issues there. It was a lot busier than I usually expect it to be. Yeah, got in all fine, and then I decided to get the tube to Tottenham Court Road because I was like, I would rather get the tube there and then walk back. Because by the time I was coming back, it was like commuting time, so I was like, I don't want to get on the tube at commuting time. It was just a couple of stops on the Northern Line, so it wasn't particularly far. So yeah, got to Tottenham Court Road, and then I was kind of debating on where to go for lunch because there's quite a lot of food places in Covent Garden area, which I didn't really realise. I think there's like a lot of offices and stuff like that in the area. So yeah, loads of food places. There was like a couple of markets and stuff. I had done like a little Google beforehand, and there was a salad place called Attis, which the motorbike has finally left. But there is a salad place called Attis, I think that's how you pronounce it, and I've seen like people talk about it on TikTok and like vlogs and stuff, but like I've never actually seen one before. And because it was quite warm, I was like, oh, I could totally do a salad, because I was like, I don't really want something hot, I don't really want something where I like have to cut, like a restaurant where I like sit in sort of thing. So yeah, I found the Attis place, and also it was like a 2-minute walk from the theatre, so I was like, that's actually quite good. So yeah, made it there, and then when I got there was like a queue out of the door. I think by the time I got there it was probably like just after 1, maybe like 1:15. So yeah, I was like, oh, this is actually very busy and very popular. So I just joined the queue. It was moving relatively fast, it wasn't too bad. Joined the queue, but then as I kind of got into it, because it was like out of the door, out of the actual building, so as I kind of got in, there was like a kiosk with some tablets, and it was like order here, like skip the queue or something. And I was kind of like, why is no one using the tablets? And like I was like, I've obviously never been here before. Like I feel like this is the kind of place that people like regularly go, especially if you like regularly buy lunch at work when you're in the office sort of thing. But yeah, so I was like, why is no one going to the tablets? So I kind of like got a little bit closer to the tablets. I was like, let me just have a look, and yeah, you could just order there. So I ordered there, and I was like, what? But why are people queuing? I was like, I couldn't really like understand why people were queuing, because I was like, the queue was long, do you know what I mean? So yeah, I ordered at the kiosk and then like went to the little pickup area. I wanted to sit outside, but by the time I got my order, the outside seating was like fully packed. So yeah, luckily inside it was a little bit, it wasn't quieter, but the seating inside was a little bit quieter, so I just found a seat and ate there. So what I got was, so I did like a build your own bowl. They basically do like different preset salads and then like plates and bowls, and then you can also like build your own. So yeah, I did a build your own bowl with like, I think it was like romaine lettuce and like some grains like quinoa and some lentils and stuff. And then I got a jalapeno dressing, like a creamy jalapeno dressing. I got maple and ginger tofu, pickled onions, charred corn, and what was the other thing? Oh, like edamame and peas. And then I got like walnuts, I think maple walnuts or toasted walnuts or something on top. It was a really good salad. It was £11. Was it an £11 salad? No. Obviously, I was in central London. That's a pretty regular price for like a lunch, which I think is absolutely insane. But like, I wouldn't go back there just because like, I make really good salads. Like, I know I make really good salads, and I can make a good salad like that at home. So paying £11 for it, I was like, no. I mean, it was good, it was delicious, it was nice, there was nothing wrong with it, you know, but considering like how packed it was, how busy it was, how popular it was, I was like, would I queue for this again? Probably not. Especially because I'm just like, it's a fucking salad. I can make this at home. So I ate inside, I read some of my book. I've been reading the Walking Dead graphic novels, and I am really enjoying them. I think I have about 20 issues left, so I'm on like the storyline where they are at the Commonwealth, so I'm like kind of towards the end of the story basically. So yeah, if you don't know, I love The Walking Dead. It's one of my like comfort TV shows. I've watched it probably about 4 or 5 times in its entirety. I love the show, and I was like, oh, I should probably give the comics a read, and I've been really enjoying reading them. I think they're really fun. It's really interesting for me to see like the differences between the show and the comics, and like the changes that they made. Like, I'm always really interested and intrigued to be like, how did you make, like, why did you make those changes? How did you make those changes? Anyway, so yes, I finished my salad, and then like I said, the theatre was like a 2-minute walk away from Attis. So made my way over to the theatre, went inside, they checked your bag, they scan your ticket. I also went to go to Tesco Express and got myself some like sweet treats. I got some Flips pretzels, you know, they're like chocolate covered pretzels, which are like one of my favorite sweet treats ever, because I love sweet and salty together. Why is there always noise? I don't think this is going to stop anytime soon. Oh my god, there's a fucking aeroplane as well. Okay, all right, let's just deal with the noise. So I got inside. I was looking at like the merch and stuff, and they had some cute things. Like they had some t-shirts and hoodies and like some little plushies of like Totoro, and I think they had some like key rings and stuff. They also had some like enamel pin badges, and I collect pins, but they were all really expensive and like kind of basic, you know. I was kind of like, you know, like one of them was £15 and the others were like £12 each, and yeah, the designs were not really like doing it for me. So I was considering getting some merch, but yeah, it just wasn't really for me. The merch was good, the merch was nice, you know, if you are considering buying merch, or if you like getting merch when you go and see plays and shows. So yeah, and then I went to my seat, went to the toilet first, obviously, went to my seat. I had really good seats. So I was in 071, which is in the stalls, but there's like obviously like a kind of arch around the stage. So if I'm facing the stage, I'm on the left hand side, and on the stalls I was kind of at the back of my little section, so there was nobody behind me, which was really great, because I didn't have to deal with like being in anyone's way, or like anyone kind of like nudging my seat or kicking my seat or anything like that. I also had like a little area. I tried to take a video, but I don't know if it's going to be like a good video. But I also, because it was at the end of a row and there was no aisle on the other side, it was also just like a little space, you know, like an empty dead space, where it was just like there was just nothing there. So it meant I could like put my bag there, put my jacket there, I could like really man spread if I wanted to as well. So I wasn't like compacted. In terms of the seat space as well, I was absolutely fine. I didn't feel restricted at all. I had like a good amount of space from like my knees to the seat in front of me. There was also like, even if I didn't have that extra space on the end of the row, I could kind of like stretch my legs out. So yeah, I had like a really good amount of room. The armrests were like kind of high. They sat at like probably like my hips, like where my love handles kind of are. They weren't particularly narrow, they weren't particularly wide. I would say if you're like similar size to me, or you carry a lot of weight in like your stomach area, you'll probably be okay in terms of like comfort in actually sitting in the seat, particularly if you were where I was, because I suppose you could kind of like fully rotate your body and like stretch your legs out into that like gap where there was no seat. So yeah, I think the seats were really quite spacious. I loved the seat I was in as well, because I only obviously had to deal with like one stranger next to me basically, and then my view of the stage was really good. So obviously it was like at an angle, but that didn't impact the show at all. There was nothing that I couldn't see. Like there was no point where I was like, oh, I can't really see, or like maybe I couldn't really like grasp what was going on, or I didn't have a good view. Like I could see everything. I was also quite close to one of the composers, or one of the musicians, sorry, who was like kind of, they were like dotted around. One of them was like relatively close to me, and then at one point one of the singers, she was stood up there, which I thought was really fun because it was like really close to me. But the show itself, so fucking good. If you get an opportunity to see it, I don't know like, you know, how long they're running it for. I don't know if they're doing any extra dates. I don't know anything about it, so like obviously just Google it, like do your research. But I basically booked my tickets a really long time ago. I will tell you the exact date of when I booked my tickets, because it was, I'm pretty sure, in 2024. I booked it on the 27th of November 2020, no sorry, 27th of December 2024, which was obviously a really long time ago. My ticket was £25. I booked it for Thursday the 18th of September, which is a 2 o'clock showing. It's an e-ticket. That's there was no like admin fee or booking fee or anything, so it's just a £25 ticket. And yeah, like I said, my seat was 071. But yeah, I literally booked it, like I was on, like as soon as I knew that they were doing a stage production of this show, I was on the waiting list. As soon as the waiting list like said that tickets are on sale, I booked my ticket. So I don't know if it's like sold out. I don't know if they're doing more runs. I actually don't know anything about it. But if you are able to buy a ticket for it, I would 100% recommend going to see it, especially if you're a fan of the film, or especially if you're a fan of Studio Ghibli. It was so good. Like the story was obviously like basically the exact same. Like I don't think they kind of missed anything out. Also, the run time of the show was 2 hours and 40 minutes, and there was an intermission. I'd say like just over halfway through the show. But the puppetry of like how they did Totoro, how they did like Cat Bass, how they did like, you know, the little Totoros, was so amazing. Like seeing it in real life, I was like, this is real. I was like, this is Totoro. Do you know what I mean? Like, the way that they did the puppetry was absolutely crazy. Do I have a hair on me? Yes, the effects, the puppetry, the like performances, the choreography was so good. The girls who played like the kids and the family, the main family, was so good, and like it was just really wholesome and heartwarming, and like it's just, there's so much, like, I don't know, it felt like it was done with like a lot of care and a lot of like attention to detail. And like I personally really love My Neighbour Totoro. I think it was like the first Studio Ghibli movie I ever watched. Like, it's one of my comfort films. I absolutely adore the movie. I adore the storyline. I think the animation is absolutely beautiful. So to see it kind of like brought to life was actually kind of like low-key emotional, you know? Like, there were some parts where I did get a little bit like, I don't know, teary, but like in a positive way, in like a happy way, where I was just like, holy shit, this is incredible. Like, the way they pulled it off was nothing short of magnificent. Honestly, like, I have nothing but good things to say about this production. It was so well done, so incredible. And as well, in terms of like the kind of musical aspect, so in the movie there are obviously like songs in the movie itself, and some of those songs are played in the show, and there's like accompanying kind of like Foley sounds and background music and stuff like that. And there is a singer who sings some of the songs. Some of them are in Japanese, some of them are in English. Oh my god, what is going on? Let me close the windows. Hopefully that's a bit better. But yeah, it was it wasn't like a musical, but there was obviously like songs kind of accompanying it. There was a couple which I recognized from the movie, and then there was a couple that I was like, I don't recognize this one, so I feel like it was like an original song made for the show. In terms of like the vibe of the show, there were a lot of school trips during this performance. From my seat I could count maybe about 12 different schools. My row, I was sat next to a whole row of children. There was a whole row of kids next to me, and the one in front as well. And luckily the school who was like sat next to me, they were like pretty well behaved. They were well behaved, but they were just wriggling so much, like, and it's fine, I can deal with the wriggling. But there was lots of, like, in the kind of middle section, there was like a class or a school or one of the trips who were just unbelievably loud, like chatting the whole way through. I don't know what, maybe they'd just been given lunch or whatever, but the rustling, like the rustling at the beginning of the show was so loud to the point that I thought it was like really bad rain sounds from like the actual show. Like, I thought they were doing like rain sounds. And I was like, these are really crappy sounds. And then I realized, oh no, it's actually like people making that noise. I think the steward did come over and like essentially ask them to be quiet, but and I don't want to sound like a hater, but like, when you're at the theatre, like, you have to be silent. Like, I actually think it's really fucking disrespectful to talk during a theatre production, to chat, to rustle your stuff really loudly. And don't get me wrong, like, the odd little whisper to your friend or someone you're sat next to, like, you know, grabbing a sweet from your bag or like eating a bit of popcorn, whatever. But it's like, there is a way to do that without being loud and without being disruptive. And I think the thing that like bothered me particularly about this is that obviously they're kids, right? They're not children, like, they're not young, they're kids who are old enough to know how to behave in a public setting, but also like they're with adults. And it's like the kids who are being super loud, you could not hear the adults being like shh, you know, or like not telling them off, but like telling them to be quiet or asking them to stop rustling or whatever. The adults in that scenario were not taking any accountability for the children that they were in charge of for that day, you know? And I think that's kind of like what bothered me, where I was like, hello. And like everyone in my section, you could see heads turning to the noise constantly, to be like, what the fuck is that noise? Where is that coming from? Even the teachers who were like in my section, who were in charge of other classes, were like, what the hell is that noise? I don't know, I think like there is a whole conversation about like cinema etiquette and theatre etiquette and just like etiquette in general about like being in fucking public places and public spaces, which I think has absolutely gone to the fucking gutter. And like, I don't want to sound like a boomer and I don't want to sound like a hater, but like, it is really bad, like really, really bad. I think that's what bothers me the most, is that there are adults in these scenarios who should be keeping these people accountable, especially on a school trip as well, where it's like you're actually taking them outside of school. I used to get told in school, like when we'd go on school trips, like, this is you're a representation of your school, you have to behave yourself, like everyone has to be quiet, you know. But there was just like none of that, which I thought was so baffling, and just like, I don't know, it was just really weird. And like me and my partner recently went to go see Demon Slayer at the cinema, which was an incredible film, by the way, but our experience was just totally fucking ruined by the other people in the screening. Like the screen was packed, it was basically like sold out. There were people chatting like the whole way through, like literally like the row above, like we could hear their conversation. They also didn't know anything that was going on in the film, so like, who's that, what's that, oh I thought that person died, you know. It was like a lot of that going on, but they're not whispering. Like, don't get me wrong, me and my partner were like psh, 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 every now and again, maybe like 3 times throughout the entire 2.5 hour movie. And then there was somebody next to me who was like glued to his fucking phone because he was taking pictures, and I was like, that's insane to me. There has never been a time in my life where I've been like, yeah, let me take pictures of this. And like, maybe the piracy ads when I was growing up were a little bit more prevalent. Like maybe it was just like, I don't know, it was just like really looked down upon if you got your phone out in the cinema. But I was like, when has this been normalized, taking pictures at the cinema? Like, when has this been normalized, chatting at the theater? Like, I don't know. And like I said, I don't want to sound like a hater, but like, it's getting really bad. And like, I think yesterday I was trying my hardest not to get like really pissed off, because there has been so many times recently where my experience of something has been completely marred because other people don't know how to behave in a public setting. Like the people in the Demon Slayer screening, these students at the Totoro show, like when I went on holiday and that kid like fucking grabbed me, you know. Like there has been so many times where I'm just like, why do people not know how to behave in public when there are other people around? Like, I'm just a bit confused, a little bit baffled about it. And something that I've realized, and like obviously if you aren't aware, like I'm autistic. If this is maybe the first vlog you've watched of mine, I am autistic, and I have realized that I am extremely sensitive to sound. I'm also really distracted by sounds as well, as you could probably tell with like the fucking motorbike and like whatever other noises that's been going on. But I'm really sensitive to sound. I can hear like sometimes I'm like, I literally feel like a superhero because I can hear so much. Like I can hear like electricity in the walls, like I can hear everything. And I'm really sensitive to sounds, and they really overstimulate me and stress me out. It takes so much self-control for me to not like freak the fuck out when there's like a lot of really distressing sounds around me, because like I do want to scream, I want to shout, I want to yell, I want to cry, I want to like, you know, physically do something about it. I want to like, you know, stim in the process to kind of stop myself from feeling like this. So what I'm realizing is that because I am so sensitive to noises and sounds around me, it's like really kind of fucking up my experiences when I do go to these things and these shows and like the cinema and going on holiday and stuff like that. And like there's only so much I can do, do you know what I mean? Like I can bring my ear defenders, I can wear earplugs, I can like try and physically remove myself. And like when I booked the Totoro screening, I was like, okay, let me put myself right at the back, I'll be in the corner so I'm out of the way. But lo and behold, I'm sat next to like a bunch of children, you know, which ultimately they were relatively well behaved, but like I would rather not be sat next to like a whole school of kids, especially when I know I'm sensitive. Like if I was next to the kids who were being really loud, oh my god, I would have lost my fucking mind. So it's one of those things where it's like, I can only do so much. The only other option is for me to not do this thing and to not experience it. But I'm like, well, I want to experience it, but it's being ruined by other people. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, I'm kind of like trying to not like make myself feel bad about getting stressed out about it. I think particularly because a lot of the time it's like, it is children, it is like teenagers or kids who aren't like young. I'm not talking about like fucking babies and toddlers who like literally like don't even have a brain cell. like I'm not talking about actual babies who can't control themselves. I'm talking about like children, you know, like teenagers, like they're year 5, year 6, you know, they've got a personality, they know how to behave in public, or they should at least. I'm talking about that age of children. And so like I think I'm trying not to sound like I'm hating on kids. I'm bothered that the adults who are the guardians and the adults who are looking after them are not taking any accountability for it, and are also not realizing that like you're not the only school here. Like firstly, there are 10 million other schools here, but there are also other people here who actually like want to enjoy the show. I also as well, low-key, I'm like, I don't know if My Neighbour Totoro on stage is like a good production for children to go and watch. Like don't get me wrong, like I think the film could be really cool for kids to watch, but like on stage I'm kind of like, I don't know, like, and I'm also like, what were you learning in school that would that would be like, oh yeah, let's go see My Neighbour Totoro. Because like for me, whenever we did school trips and stuff, it would always be like in relation to like what we were learning. So it's like we'd go to a museum about like the World War II if we were learning about World War II, you know. Like I'm like, what are you learning in school? You know, I'm just so intrigued, because I'm like, well, maybe you're learning about like Japanese stuff, culture, like a Japanese war, maybe like Pearl Harbor. I don't fucking know. That's just kind of how I've been feeling about like doing outside activities lately. And I'm really trying to not, like, for want of a better word, like crash out, because that's what I want to do. In those moments I get so stressed, I get so overwhelmed, so overstimulated, that I want to scream and yell and shout and freak out and crash out about it. But I have to be the responsible adult. And sometimes that's really hard. I think especially if you're autistic and you get overstimulated, ultimately there are only so many things that I can like do to help myself, and sometimes even those things, like, they're not going to work because there are other people in the world. Anyway, yeah, overall I had a really good time. Like I really enjoyed the show. I would love, you know what I would love actually, if these kind of places that did like shows, like theatre shows and cinema screenings and stuff, if they did like a neurodivergent friendly screening, or if they did like a screening where it was like, this is for people who actually want to watch it, and like this is for people who will not be talking, who will not have their phone out, who, you know, want to actually enjoy the production for what it is. Because as well, like when we were watching Demon Slayer, I was like, I really don't think I was able to kind of like absorb myself as much into the movie and watch the film as much as I would like to, because I was just so fucking distracted by the people around me. Put your fucking phones away when you're at the cinema. What the hell? And the thing is that obviously I'm on TikTok, right? And like I'm getting Demon Slayer movie TikToks on my feed, on my FYP, and half of them are pictures that people have taken at the cinema. And it's like, they've not just taken one photo, like, oh, the title screen, okay, fine, do that, whatever, if you must, if you have to. I'm like, they've taken maybe about 15 to 20 photos throughout the entire fucking film, which I think is absolutely insane. Like, insane behaviour. You're at a movie, why are you taking photos? I don't get it. Like, what, to post on social media? Okay, I'm just gonna say it. I think if you're taking photos at the cinema purely to post on social media, I think that's really cringe, loser behaviour, gotta say. Anyway, I'm gonna stop moaning. I feel like in so many of my vlogs I just moan all the time, but like, yeah, I mean, I've explained my reasonings. I just get overstimulated so easily, and people are very annoying. Like, the general public can be very irritating, okay? But overall, the show was great. The show was magnificent. If you do get a chance to watch it, definitely watch it. I wouldn't recommend going on a weekday though, just saying. Maybe go on a weekend, maybe that will be better, who knows. I had a really great time, and then after the show I was like, okay, I'm gonna wait for all these like school kids to clear out. That didn't really work because there was another school like in front of me, and they were also like, oh, we're gonna wait for everyone to clear out. So I was like, oh, okay, great, because I was like, I just need some like peace and quiet before I have to like walk through central London, because it was just so overstimulating that I was like, I need some time to like regulate. And then obviously that school was like, I'm going to stay here. So I was like, oh, okay, never mind then. So I had to leave, went to the toilet, left, and then I decided to walk to my station. So I just walked over like Waterloo Bridge, which was actually quite a nice walk. I always forget how quick it is. I think next time like I maybe just won't get the tube. It was a really easy walk, and then I actually met my partner who was working in the office today, so we ended up getting the train home together, which was cute. It was obviously a commuting train, so like I didn't do anything, and me and my partner just caught up with each other. And then when we got home, we were both really tired, but yeah, when we got home we just chilled, we had dinner, we watched some TV, I read my book, and then we went to sleep. And that was my day. It was really nice. I had a really lovely day, obviously bar the annoying people. That is just the risk of going outside. You wonder, this is why I'm a homebody, okay? This is why I stay at home so much, because otherwise like I just get so irritated by people. I'm actually a little bit not concerned, but I'm going to see Hercules on stage as well, which will be one of my Vlogoween vlogs also, in like a month or so. And now I'm like, oh, I'm a bit worried, because Hercules is obviously like, it's like, well, Hercules is one of my favorite Disney movies of all time. Like, if anything, actually maybe the favorite. It's one of my comfort movies. I watch it a lot. And yeah, it's like, it's a Disney Hercules production. Also, obviously it's about like Greek mythology, so like I feel like, yeah, this could actually slot into like a school's curriculum kind of relatively easily, especially if they're learning about Greek mythology. and I'm also going on a weekday. So I'm now a little bit like, oh shit, I didn't even think about school trips. So hopefully it won't be so bad. I'm now a little bit apprehensive about, well, not apprehensive, obviously I'm still going to go, but I'm a little bit like, oh shit, this could actually be really awful. I'm hoping it won't be. I believe in myself. At the end of the day, ultimately I enjoyed myself. I'm glad I went. I really enjoyed the show. I think it was incredible. I think it was brilliant. I think all of the people involved in the show were just incredible, truly amazing. Like, yeah, no faults on the actual show itself. But yeah, that was my day. Obviously, if you enjoyed this video, give it a like, leave me a comment and let me know what you think. And of course, if you want to see the rest of my Vlogoween posts, be sure to subscribe to my channel. I do have a whole playlist with all of my Vlogoween posts in case you need to catch up on the previous days. And yeah, thanks so much for hanging out with me on my solo date. I'll hopefully catch you on the next one.